got here as a freshman? I know he was kind of like a vocal recruit and has always been that way, but how have you seen him mature?
Yeah, the good thing about Ruben is he was one of those early grads that got here in the spring prior to his first season, the COVID season. So he was here for spring prior to the COVID hitting. And then, he was one of those guys that was on our leadership council, which again speaks volume when you have, we typically put a couple of freshmen on there just so that we kind of meet the demographics of our team. And he was one that really quickly jumped out to us and to his teammates as a guy that had some natural leadership ability, and a lot of it was because of his work ethic. Now, as he's moved into a starting role and he played a lot of football as a freshman for us last year, he's just become the quarterback of our defense. As I like to say, you got to be strong down the middle on offense and defense, and the quarterback, the center, the nose guard, the Mike linebacker, and the free safety all kind of are natural leadership positions on our team. And he's been a great fit. He's been able to, last week with the loss of Fanaje and early in the game, when you watch the tape, and that was one of the reasons he was one of our defensive players of the game. He took care of the young guys when they were out there, whether it was Worm, Jeremy Spraggins, or Brandon Jennings. When those guys were on the field, you just watch. He was making a lot of calls. He was getting them lined up, getting himself in the right position, and made a lot of plays. And I think he's one of those guys that has a positive impact on his teammates, and that's what we describe as leadership.
We'll go to Jacob Steinberg.
Hey, Coach. Last week against West Virginia, early in the game, you guys ran some tempo offensively, pushing the pace a little bit. In addition to getting the defense tired, what about Talia's skill set and the skill set of your receivers allows you guys to be so effective when you kind of get in that hurry-up sense and push the pace offensively?
Yeah, we're a team that's a multi-tempo offense, meaning we can play fast when we want to. We can slow it down, as you see, when we get in the short yardage and goal line situations and we huddle. I just think it's great to be a multi-tempoed because sometimes I know as a team when you play fast all the time, people kind of get used to just making the calls. And I think as a play caller, when you have the ability to go fast or slow, you kind of put the defensive coordinator on a yo-yo as to his calls and his substitution patterns. And so, we'll continue to try to do that. I think our receivers and our quarterbacks all do actually a pretty good job when we play fast. The ultimate goal for us is to try to get as, many plays as we can. And for us, the magic number is 80. And that way, if you can get 80 plays, which is what we want to try to achieve every game, you're able to be diverse with the ball and how you spread it out instead of, one guy catching 10 balls and another guy catching one. We'd like to really have opportunities for our playmakers to get what we call touches, the opportunity to make plays. And I think and believe on offense, the more your playmakers touch the ball, the better opportunity you have to score because they typically will make plays for you if they get enough opportunities. And so that goes into how we game plan and when we do want to use tempo and how it affects the defense.
We'll go to Alex Flum.
Hey, Coach Locks, how's it going?
Hey, Alex, what's up, buddy?
Not too much. And let me just make sure, Ben, I think you're on the screen on mine. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. Just want to make sure Coach Locks is on there. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Sorry, no one wants to see
it's
me.
Fixed. No, it's fine. I just want to make sure Coach Locks is on when he's answering. Kind of following up on that last question, I know, Dante and Rakim and then, really the whole receiving core was a huge part of the win this past week. What do you think that showed about the potential for Talia and that group and what they can do, maybe not just in the next few weeks, but when you guys get into Big Ten play down the road?
Yeah, for us, again, it's all about this week, and we'll keep it at that. The receiver room is a room that has been talked about the potential of it. Has been, I've even been included in telling you how talented it is. And so, it was good to see them make the plays that were there to be made. Obviously, we had some drops and third down drops to us or turnovers. So there's definitely room for improvement. One of the disappointing things for me was coming in and not seeing a guy like Brian Cobbs and, Dino Tomlin and Carlos Carrier get more opportunities because much like we do on defense, our goal is to try to play a lot of players and it keeps us fresh for the fourth quarter. And, you know, in addition to, you know, Jay Sean and Daryl and you know, Rakim and Demas, you know, those other three guys have really had great camps. And you know, to me, Brian Cobbs is a starter. And I just didn't think he had enough opportunities. We've got to do a better job of planning and making sure that he gets those opportunities because he really had a great camp. Dino Tomlin had a great camp and Carlos Carrier did. So I think that room has, again, like I said, a lot of potential. They showed out for a first impression standpoint. I thought they two guys are, you know, the guys that made the plays for us, Rock and then Demas, both showed what they're capable of. But I think there's more out of that room that we can get, and that we've got to do a better job as a coaching staff of making sure that those guys are all mixed in there and have these opportunities that we talk about.
And I had a second question real quick also. I know you said keeping the team focused on this week and not looking too far ahead. Obviously, there was a lot to take away positives from last week, but how do you make sure that your guys, you know, don't just stay focused on the fact that this is a really long season and it's only been just 1 week?
Yeah, that's easy for me to do, and that's easy for us to do because that's kind of been our MO since I've been here. Really big on the most important game is the next game. And for us, you know, and I know it sounds so cliche-ish, and I know y'all get tired of hearing it, but, you know, the goal for us is to not necessarily worry about who we play, but to practice and hold up to the type of standards that we set during the week. And I think that's how you can guard against, you know, playing the roller coaster of a big game versus this game as being a little game. They're all big because we only get 12 opportunities guaranteed. And I just think what we've sold our players on and really believe in as a program is that we play to a standard and we set the standard. I think we showed last week what we're capable of doing in a small part, but with still a lot of room to grow. And now the goal is, can we do it? Can we sustain it, do it with consistency and approach every game the same way? That way you don't get caught up in a big game and little games.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll go to Dylan Spilka.
Hey, Coach, there was almost a 50-50 split with the running plays and passing plays against West Virginia. Is that something that we can expect against Howard as well?
You know, again, every game plan we go into it, it's not necessarily for us to do 50% run, 50% pass. You know, we've got one film from this year that they played Richmond. We've got a couple games from the spring that they played. And so we're putting together game plans on offense, defense, and special teams that kind of give us the best opportunity to win. And it could be running it 50, 60 times and throwing it 20, or it could be vice versa. We go in a game with the ability to try to work to do both very well. And then based on what their game plan is to defend our stuff, we make adjustments and are ready to create. So we don't go in saying, hey, we want to do this. You know, now do we have goals or going into a game, do we say, hey, we have to establish the run? Yeah, I think we showed that a little bit in the second half against West Virginia that part of our adjustments based on how they were playing us and defending us was we needed to run the ball effectively. And I thought we did so there in the, a little bit at the late third, early in during the fourth quarter to be able to win the ball game.
Does anyone else have a question for Coach?
That
All right.
was easy.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
All right, guys.